Nizzy, and in this video you guys are going to be breaking down the game preview coming up between the Packers and Bears, a little Sunday night football matchup coming up tonight, you guys. Obviously the Green Bay Packers are coming off their bye week last week, got an opportunity for some guys to get a little more healthy. Obviously we're still a pretty banged up squad right now. We'll go through some injury report pretty quick here, you guys. Right real quick before we start breaking down this game that's coming up tonight, if you can go ahead and like this video if you like sporting content like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more sporting content like this in the near future. Been getting a lot of support lately, you guys, and I greatly appreciate it. We're going to keep pumping out as much content as possible for you guys. But without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and start breaking down this game. Obviously, the Packers are at a 9-3 record on the season so far. The Bears are coming into this game at a record of 4-8 on their season. Tale of two different tapes here, the way the season's gone for both of these teams. Both teams dealing with some pretty big-time injuries to some key players on their squad. We'll start off with the Chicago Bears injury report first here, you guys. Linebacker Danny Trevathan's on IR still with his knee injury. It's a pretty big guy that's out for them right now. Akeem Hicks, their defensive tackle, absolute stud on the inside of that D-line. He's going to be out this game with an ankle injury. Marquise Goodwin, one of their better wide receivers on the crew there, is doubtful with a foot injury, so that'll hamper their pass game a little bit. In this one, Andy Dalton's doubtful with a hand injury, which isn't a very big deal because Justin Fields got the start anyways. So we'll have to see how the kid does. I believe he's missed a couple of weeks here with an injury, so he's coming back off an injury as well. So he might be a little bit rusty to start, but I think he's a better option for the Chicago Bears team than Andy Dalton anyway. Might as well get him some reps in there on a big Sunday night matchup against the Packers. And then obviously they got linebacker Khalil Mack is done for the season with that foot injury. Pretty unfortunate news there. That came out a couple weeks ago. And now Cassius Marsh is also on the IR with a knee injury as well. There's a couple other injuries to some back-end players with the Chicago Bears. But that pretty much wraps it up for their injury report. Missing some key guys like Akeem Hicks, like I said. Obviously Khalil Mack's another big-time player for him. Danny Trevathan as well, Marquise Goodwin. So we'll have to see if Goodwin ends up playing. Like I said, he is doubtful at this point in time, so we'll see if he ends up making it on the field coming to Sunday night here, you guys. And then over to the Packers injury report. We got Bakhtiari obviously still out with the knee injury. He had to go and get some stuff cleaned up in his knee there a couple weeks ago. So hopefully he's going to be ready by the end of this season for playoff time. Whitney Merciless obviously went down a couple weeks ago as well. Tore his biceps. He's done for the season. I thought he was a great in-season pickup for us. Very unfortunate that he went down with that injury. He was adding a little bit extra to the pass rush for the Green Bay Packers there. So sucks to see him down for the count for the season. Randall Cobb also might be done for the year. At least probably for the regular season games. I expect Randall Cobb will probably be missing most of the regular season games here. Might be able to come back for some of the playoff games depending on how far we make it into the playoffs. But pretty unfortunate. He's on IR now with a groin injury / abdominal injury. I got a feeling that he might have tore his abdomen or might have got a hernia. Might have to go get a little bit of surgery done on that to heal up. It's kind of a similar injury that happened to Alan Lazard, I believe, last season, and he ended up missing about 6-7 weeks, I believe. So hopefully it's not as bad for Cobb. We'll have to see what happens. But if he does end up missing 6 or 7 weeks, he probably will just be coming back in time to play in the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl if the Packers can make it that far. Fingers crossed that they can make it that far this year. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that. We'll just kind of monitor that situation the rest of the season here. Obviously, Big Bob Tunyon's down for the count for the season. Tore his ACL. That's an unfortunate loss to the squad. Devontae Campbell's questionable with an illness. He was on the COVID protocols there for a week or so. Hopefully, he should be playing in this game. I know he's questionable right now. I expect him to play, obviously, because he was on the IR there, the limited IR for the COVID during our bye week there. So I think he's going to be ready to roll and ready to play in this game tonight. Zadarius Smith obviously still on injured reserve with that back surgery. I'm hoping we're going to get him back sometime this season, hopefully with the last couple of weeks of the season. If he could come back, just get his footing under him a little bit and get ready for a big-time playoff push, that'd be a huge addition to the pass rush. Obviously, Jenkins is out on IR for the rest of the season now with his torn ACL. Very unfortunate there as well. Jair Alexander's just come off of that IR. He started practicing last week, you guys, so hopefully he's going to be ready to go here in the next couple of weeks. Definitely a bit of positive news on that front. We weren't sure if we are going to be getting Jair back this season or not, but it looks like he will be able to play. come in the last few weeks of the season, which is going to be a huge addition to the team. I do think he's going to have to go for off-season shoulder surgery still. I bet you he's got a torn labrum or something of that sort. I would not be surprised if he's just going to try and grit it out and play through it for the last few weeks of the season here. Obviously, if the Packers are going to be going on a big playoff push, you're going to want to have him in the fold as well. So I just think that's the decision that he's made with the team, is to get the surgery done in the offseason and allow it to heal naturally as much as possible without the surgery during the season here. And then obviously Jordan Love went on IR with the COVID protocol as well, you guys, so he's not going to be in this game. We're going to have Kurt Benkert backing us up. No issue there. Obviously, we expect A-Rod to play a full game here. Obviously, he's been dealing with that toe injury a little bit, but he did have the bye week to rest it up. I believe he practiced on Friday, so obviously he's feeling a little bit better if he's practicing. I don't think he had practiced in 3 weeks prior to that. So good to see that Aaron Rodgers got out there on Friday and a little bit of a limited participant, but good to see him out there nonetheless. I think he'll be able to play a good game for us. Obviously, it didn't hamper him very much versus the Rams, was still able to play phenomenal versus them. That pretty much wraps up the injury report for the Green Bay Packers here. Obviously, Josh Myers is still on IR with the knee injury as well. So I have Lucas Patrick starting at center for us. But yeah, you guys, should be a good game here still. I expect it to be a closer one than people expect. I know a lot of people out there expecting a blowout for the Green Bay Packers. You just never know in these divisional games. Chicago could beat us any given Sunday. We just got to come out ready and prepared. Hold down Justin Fields a little bit. We can't allow him to scramble and make plays outside of the pocket, which is what he's really good at doing. Obviously, getting some yards in the run game as well. We're going to have to try and hold down David Montgomery and kind of keep Justin Fields inside that pocket so he can't scramble for big first downs in the run game there. Some of the keys to the game that we'll go through, you guys. We'll start off with the Chicago Bears in this one. Probably one of the biggest keys to the game for the Chicago Bears, if they want to win this one, you guys, is going to be winning the time of possession battle. Obviously, winning the time of possession battle is going to keep Aaron Rodgers off the field. It's going to tire out that Green Bay defense, and it's just going to get you more quality reps for your offense out there and get Justin Fields in a better rhythm. Just being able to get more touches with the football and be able to get more opportunities to drive his team down the field for the score. So I think that's going to be a big key to the game. For the Chicago Bears, they're going to have a run-heavy plan of attack there on offense. Obviously, Montgomery's an absolute stud. They're going to need to really pound the rock with him. Khalil Herbert's been a nice addition to the squad for them as well, so they got a nice little two-headed tandem going between those two guys. And yeah, I think that's going to be a big key for them. I think another huge key to the game for the Chicago Bears is going to be getting lots of pressure on Aaron Rodgers, forcing him outside of the pocket, making him throw the football on the run a little bit, getting him a little bit uncomfortable there, especially with that toe injury. If you can force him to have to move outside of the pocket a lot, it might just heighten the chances of him re-aggravating that toe, which obviously will benefit the Chicago Bears in the long run there. So that's going to be another huge one, is getting lots of pressure on Aaron Rodgers, try and get some sacks on the guy, make him feel uncomfortable inside that pocket. And then another big-time key to the game for the Chicago Bears, you guys, is going to be eliminating their penalties. They're about middle of the pack in penalties. They average about 6.3 penalties called against them per game. But the Packers only average about 4 to 4.5 penalties called against them per game. So it's going to be pretty huge for the Chicago Bears to limit the amount of penalties called against them. The last thing you want to be doing is putting yourself in second and long and third and long situations on offense, or getting a huge third down stop that ends up having a penalty called, and then Aaron Rodgers gets another first down because of the penalty or pass interference calls. So that's going to be a huge thing in the game as well, as trying to play mistake-free football for the Chicago Bears. If they're able to complete those three keys to the game, I think they're going to have a good opportunity to be able to take an upset victory over the Green Bay Packers in this one, you guys. And then heading over to the Packers side of things with some of the keys to the game here. I think one of the main things for us is going to be getting pressure on Justin Fields, making him feel uncomfortable inside the pocket. And then when he does decide to scramble outside of the pocket, whether he be running a bootleg or if he just has to scramble because the pocket collapses on him, I think it's going to be huge for us to be able to run him down, not allow him to get a lot of yards out of the scramble drills that he does. And the more pressure that we get on him, we'll force him into more possible turnovers, which will be huge for the Green Bay Packers. Anytime the Green Bay Packers win the turnover battle, we usually end up winning the game, so that's going to be a huge thing for the Packers as well tonight, being able to win that turnover battle against the Chicago Bears. Another key to the game for the Green Bay Packers, you guys, I believe is going to be pounding the rock. I think we're going to need to have a steady dose of the run game in this one. Just beat up on that defensive front of the Chicago Bears, obviously with Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks going to be out of this one. I think we should have a nice advantage inside the trenches with our offensive line against their defensive front. So I think that's going to be a huge thing for the Green Bay Packers to have that two-headed tandem of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon really pounding the rock good on him, which will help us dominate the time of possession. And just tire out that defense. It'll help the play action pass as well. So those are some of the keys to the game. I'd say the last big key to the game for the Packers is going to be no turnovers. Like I said before, if we win the turnover battle, we usually end up winning the game. So I think it's going to be huge for us not to turn the ball over to the Chicago Bears, which, we should be able to do. Aaron Rodgers is one of the best in the game. Actually, he's probably is the best in the game at the not turning the ball over. I think he's got a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, the best in the NFL. So it doesn't happen a lot. I'd say the biggest issue that we normally turn the ball over on is our special teams. Usually we'll flub it up or have a stupid play on special teams. So as long as we can keep the special teams intact a little bit here, don't have any like 4th and shorts that we get stuffed on, then the Packers should be okay in this one, you guys. I think it is going to be a good Sunday night matchup. I am going to take the Packers to win this game. Final score 28-24 over the Chicago Bears, you guys. I would love to get your guys' opinion in the comment section down below. Who are you taking to win this game coming up tonight? And Sunday Night Football should be a good one. Hopefully the Packers can improve to 10-3 on their season, driving the Bears down to 4-9. But anything can happen on any Sunday, you guys, so we'll have to see what happens. Should be a good one. Nonetheless, though, always got to love the division rivalries. So that pretty much wraps it up for this video, you guys. Once again, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and every video on my channel. Please go ahead and like this video if you like sporting content like this. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more sporting content like this in the near future. Thanks again for watching, you guys, and this is Nizzy with Nizzy Sports Channel.